Well, I wonder, alpfree.com, and you answer like 10 questions right there. It helps you figure out your style. And I wonder, let's say that I go and do that, like what's next? I mean, how am I take that and learn from it or use it? Like what happens after that? I'm very interested. What happens next?
So, not I don't want to self promote, but I did publish a book entitled Actualized Leadership. It's published by the Society for Human Resource Management, SHRM, for those that may be in the business or HR field. The subtitle is Meeting Your Shadow and Maximizing Your Potential. And that book is really focused on helping you self assess and understand the power of self awareness, and then identify characteristics of what self-actualized individuals do more often than others. For example, individuals that are highly self-actualized are objective. They have objective discernment. They don't allow authority or popularity or sentiment to creep in and cloud their judgment. They're really good at confronting the brutal facts. Another characteristic, or what I call attribute, is solitude. Self-actualized individuals crave solitude. They can be the life of the party, but they need that sort of renewal that comes from reflection and solitude. And so I talk about those characteristics. But then the second half of the book is all focused on the transformational journey, the anecdotes for the three shadows, and how to create a more self-actualized life by realizing that the shadow can be managed. You can get out of autopilot. You can take intentional, conscious, make choices, make decisions, and take actions that move you into a more self-actualized place. And so that's something that I've really devoted my professional life to, and have seen great results with individuals that have applied this framework.
Well, so let's say that I'm a listener. I hear this. I go and I do alpfree.com. I take the assessment, and even I get the book, which I'm going to get today. I might add, listeners. This sounds exciting. At the same time, I'm listening to a conversation right now with a man who's done all this work, with a man who's incredibly smart and he's humble. You've been living that and exemplifying that. So well done. But still, I could be intimidated right now I mean, how can I make that progress? So I guess what might be your simple affirmation or the simple first step that I can do it too, no matter where I'm at in my journey?
Yeah. Well, so that's a great question. I'm really glad you asked that, because I've been thinking about that. Ironically enough, we have not talked about the questions beforehand. So this really is coming on the heels of something I was thinking about earlier this week. Self-actualization is essentially living a life with an underlying sense of abundance as opposed to scarcity, having an underlying sense of security instead of fear, having a profound sense of connection to either your purpose or to a broader community instead of seeking approval from others. And so those are three sort of tenets of the life that you can lead. And it has nothing to do with formal education. It has nothing to do with the amount of money that a person makes. I've worked with attorneys and engineers and physicians and Harvard MBAs that have relatively low self-actualization scores, and that tells me that fear and scarcity is driving them. And that works for a while, but it's not sustainable. And if you tell them that, 9 times out of 10, they're nodding their heads with you in agreement before you can finish the sentence, because they know they're about to burn out. And so I think that that's one thing. So it has nothing to do with formal education, nothing to do with the amount of money that a person makes. It's available to all of us. And Abraham Maslow, sort of the guru or the founding father of self-actualization, was very clear about that in his writing. The other thing that I would say, as far as not being intimidating, is seeing that life is a series of decisions and choices, and then we have consequences of our decisions and consequences of our choices and actions. And if we're not living the life that we truly want, if we feel like there's something untapped, or we could be happier, or why is this pattern of dysfunction, why does this follow me around? Well, it's our pattern, so we have to own that piece. And I have found that individuals that are willing to be vulnerable enough to stop blaming everyone else, and say, you know what, I'm the only common denominator in the last 12 failed relationships. So maybe it's me. And I think that when a person has that sort of courage to look in that way, it's available to all of us. Abraham Maslow famously said, "At every moment and every day, we have two choices. We can sort of have the courage to step in out of our comfort zone into growth, or we can retreat into fear. But we never end the day where we started it from a development perspective. So we've either grown or we've regressed, and we have good days and bad days. And so give yourself some grace if you've had a stressful day or a bad day, and wake up tomorrow and try again. But I think that having the courage to do or say something that people aren't expecting. So maybe they're expecting you to get mad and really lose your temper, and you go, okay, well, let's deal with this problem. How can we make this better? Or if you're always accommodating and you're always avoiding conflict, maybe you're the one who says, no, I don't want to do X, whatever that X is. You enforce some boundaries that allow you to have a little more time dedicated to yourself or to make you happier. And so in whatever context that may be, and those are available to all of us, but it's in that moment to moment, the decision, is it coming from fear? Is it coming from ego? Or is it coming from a sense of abundance and security? And I think if we can quickly assess that, we are better able to make those different decisions that can have dramatically different consequences for our lives.